Welcome back to the 980s podcast, hosted by yours truly, Kevin Thompson, founder and CEO of 980 Capital Group. Thank you guys for joining us. As I always say, subscribe to the channel. As I always say, go and get my book, MLB to CFP, live on Apple and Amazon. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, you can email us at info@9icapitalgroup.com. Send us your questions, or you can go to the website at www.9icapitalgroup.com. Schedule an appointment. As you know, we're here to do what? Educate, empower, and engage. And today we've got a special guest for you. Josh Brown, CEO of Ritholtz Wealth Management and CNBC contributor. We're talking about the RIA industry and what's next, what to expect, and is your autonomy in jeopardy? Let's get it. We got Josh Brown in the building, CEO of Ritholtz. What is up, man? What is going on?
So great to be with you.
Hey, well, before we get started, we're going to have a little fun. You're a Yankee fan, right? Is that what I'm hearing?
Yes.
Well, of course, you know, I was a Yankee, and I don't know. I will tell you this. The Yankees are the top class in regards to other organizations, because I've been with multiple organizations in the MLB. And I'll tell you, man, the Yankees, the way they do it versus the Oakland A's, quote unquote, it's night and day, man. I thought MLB was MLB wherever you went, but now, no. The Yankees are class.
Oakland lost its team to Vegas. You know, it's sort of there's a Yankee way for sure. You played in the old stadium too, right?
Old stadium, yeah. Every time we walk down underneath the stadium, we literally see exposed cords everywhere. I'm like, what's going on? It was old school.
But you know what's so funny about that is the fans are nostalgic for the new stadium is beautiful. Like, nobody would say they didn't do a great job, but like the fans are always nostalgic for. Like, I'm nostalgic for Shea Stadium too. So I grew up. My dad was a Mets fan, so I grew up going to Shea. Citi Field is awesome, but like, there's something magical about the thing that you can't do anymore.
I just remember going on the 4 train to the Bronx, getting in the turnstiles, like, you know, got my little Metro card. I miss that stuff, man. You know what I miss about New York the most is is waking up and I can go get me a breakfast sandwich any day, any time of the day. Like, I want to get me a breakfast sandwich, give me a chocolate milk and a breakfast sandwich, go work out.
Yeah.
I miss that, man. Those delis, great.
Oh, the bodegas, like the chopped cheese.
Oh my gosh.
In the Bronx.
Oh yeah. It was
you ever
awesome.
see like Jesus and Mero talk about that stuff? they turned that into a show, basically.
Dude, I'm telling you, it's great, man. Go in there, get you hey, what do you want? Ham and cheese, ham, egg, and cheese on a bagel, man. Boom. All day long.
The guy behind the counter is wearing a Yankee fitted and some Timberlands.
Yeah.
In August.
Welcome to New York. Hey, long story. I don't want to get into the New York stuff, but I'm in the subway. And I'm like, what the hell is this? And it was a rat. I thought it was a cat. There were rats and signs of cat. Man, but that's not what we're here to talk about today. We want to have some fun. I know we want to have some fun, but we're talking about the RIA industry. Man, you and I have both seen it over the last decade or so, the consolidation in the business. I mean, especially with lower interest rates. The RIA industry has been experiencing a significant uptick in mergers and acquisition over the past decade. Lower interest rates have facilitated some of the easy access to capital, agent advisor demographics, succession planning, and of course, in my case, rising operational costs have incentivized the consolidation to get economies of scale. So I guess my question for you is, what is your perspective on RIA consolidation and its impact in the overall landscape?
So my perspective is that you're absolutely right about how important this trend is for all of our careers and prosperity and strategic planning. And when I first reached out to you, I saw you passionately like talking about this topic in a way that most people are afraid to do.
Yeah.
Not that you were saying anything so controversial, but you were spitting. I don't even know how else to put it. You were just going. But I said, like, this guy is as passionate about the industry as I've always thought of myself as being. So I got to talk to this guy.
Yeah.
So I agree with your premise that if we're not careful, and I don't really, we can talk about solutions in a minute, but if we're not careful, we could end up recreating the wirehouses.
Yeah.
And we could be in a time warp going back to 1986, where everyone's dealing with Merrill Lynch and Smith Barney and Lehman Brothers and Bear Stearns, and if you don't like it, too bad. I don't think that's going to happen, but without a doubt, there are some very large RIAs that effectively are using borrowed money and a cap table filled with PE firms, and they're recreating wirehouses. Yeah. And it's okay. It doesn't bother me. I just hope the whole industry doesn't turn into that.
Yeah, and the whole industry, again, the industry I came from was, you had your large players in the industry, the Fidelities, the Schwabs, the TD Ameritrades, the broker dealers out there. And the reason why I left that industry is because I was tired of them telling me what I could and could not do. For example, imagine me being in that space and having this conversation. It just wouldn't happen, right?
Yeah.
It wouldn't happen because it's like layers of compliance. Hey, well, what did Josh say here? Well, I don't know. We got to change that word here. What did Kevin, what did you say here? So you couldn't have these simple conversations because the layers of compliance to CYA, not you, but just the business. So that's one thing. But my next question is going to be about, if this trend continues, should advisors like myself or other advisors in the industry, should we worry about our autonomy? Should we be concerned about, well, I know this is happening. Maybe I need to join another firm. Is my autonomy in jeopardy?
So this is where you and I are going to disagree.
Okay.
Because I have to correct something that I've heard you now say many times, not just now, but okay. You keep referring to yourself as a small advisor. I don't know. I know a little bit more about this than you do.
Okay.
Just because I've been around for longer. Dude, you are not destined to be a small advisor. What you're doing right now on the microphone and on camera every day, you are building trust with an audience. That audience, you might not understand this now. You might not know this now, or maybe you do. I don't know. We haven't talked about it offline. That audience over the next 5 to 10 years is going to be comprised of people who are on a regular basis getting hit with life events that right now they can't even imagine. Father dies, mother dies, inheritances, selling my business, getting acquired, buying a business. My wife just got pregnant. My husband just had a stroke, right? Getting divorced, getting remarried. Oh my God, we just had our first kid. We're about to have a second.
Yeah.
These catalysts are outside of your control, Kevin. Yeah. But what is inside of your control is the fact that when these things happen to the audience that you are building trust with, the first thing they're going to say is, I gotta reach out and get some help. I'm going to call Kevin.
Absolutely.
There's no chance that you're going to do what you're doing at the level you're doing it for the next 5 years and be a small advisor. It just is no possible way. And not only is your audience going to reach out to you for help, but financial advisors like myself from all over the country are starting to pay attention to you too. And the next thing that's going to happen, even before the first thing I said, is they're going to say, hey man, I listen to you. I agree with like almost everything that you're saying. Good. I want to join forces. I have X amount of clients. I'm worried about a lot of the stuff you're worried about. Let's team up. Let's do something together. And then you're going to have to figure out really quickly how to go from being a solo entrepreneur to how to become a founder / manager and / motivator of people. And you'll still have time to do the show. Yeah. But like you're going to see how quickly that happens. And I am speaking from experience because my brother, it happened to me. I have no MBA. I have no formal training as a business leader. Nobody that knew me growing up would ever say, yeah, that guy's going to be a CEO, but I'm going on 10 years. So listen to me. I'm not arguing with you for the sake of controversy. I really want you to understand you are not a small advisor today, and I promise you, if you keep doing what you're doing, there's no way that's the category you're going to fit into in a few years. As to the autonomy, and that part's up to you.
Yeah.
You might decide, hey, I'm not cut out to run a business. I want to take what I've built somewhere, somebody's platform where I don't have to worry about this stuff. You might decide that that's what you want, but that's going to be totally up to you.
Well, so I appreciate that, my friend. And I wasn't taking it as an argument because I'm always here to listen. And I appreciate that because you're absolutely right. It's already happening. I have a few advisors underneath me as well. I got a guy from Washington, and I don't want to say too much about it, but it's still in the process here. And I know Washington was so damn difficult.
When did you start the firm?
2020, January 2023.
Dude, you're not a small advisor. You're a new firm. That's all.
Yeah. I got a guy. I'm looking for Washington advisor. I'm trying to bring
Washington State.
Washington State. Yeah.
You know what? That's Amazon and Microsoft. That's where the money comes from.
Exactly. So yeah, I got that coming, and then of course, there's some institutions up there that have done wrong by some advisors some advisors are trying to run away from. We talked about previously.
Yep. Sure.
Yeah. So
we keep that offline.
Yeah, keep it offline. Sure. But yeah, so autonomy is really big to me. And you're absolutely right. My whole focus, and I guess I get it, and I want your opinion on this. So when you're bringing on new advisors and having that conversation, and you're talking, and they're wanting their autonomy and all this other stuff, are you saying that, hey, this is how we do it, this is the box you're in? Or are you saying, no, you can be yourself? And I mean, I guess we don't have to really talk about that, but I guess what advisors are looking for is the same avenue of being themselves, but taking themselves to another place, even if they don't want to be an owner, right? Even if they don't want to be a founder.
So let me tell it the way that we do it.
Okay.
When we first started the firm, the first phone call I got was from a cat I know you know, Justin Castelli.
Okay.
And Justin's like, I'm a huge fan of what you guys are doing. And we just had these amazing conversations with him. And Justin was so early. Justin knew we were good before we knew we were good, right?
Gotcha.
But Justin's an entrepreneur, like dyed in the wool. Like he's an unstoppable, like if you ever spend any time around Justin, he's got this thing where he knows where he wants to go, or he's not 100% sure, but he has a vision and he wants to do his thing. So him joining us at that time didn't make a ton of sense.
Yeah.
Because Justin was destined to do the Justin thing. We met another amazing advisor. He's a Greek guy Greek-American guy in Arizona. His name is Tanasi. Shout out to Tanasi. This guy is a force of nature. And he was onboarding like 5 clients a week when we spoke to him. And he is a boss.
Yeah.
Like legit. You meet this guy, it's like, no. You don't belong working with us.
Gotcha.
You got to do what Tanasi's doing. And, I think he's thankful that he made that choice. He's a monster advisor in Arizona, in Phoenix. The whole Greek community, like if you're in the Greek community in Phoenix, you're not talking to Tanasi. Yeah. I don't know what's your problem. Okay. Yeah. So, but we told him, like most firms would be like telling him whatever bullshit they had to get him to join because he's an engine of his own growth.
Yeah.
He doesn't need the resources of the firm. We're the opposite. We're not looking to take people who want to be their own thing and build their own company and try to shove them into a box.
Gotcha.
We're friends with those people.
Yeah.
Like I chill with Justin. I talk to Tanasi about business. They're not employees, but that's not everybody. Every advisor is not looking for that. So who do we have working with us? The people working with us are people that want to be part of what we're doing, and they want to be on the team, and they want to play a super critical role in the story of our firm, and they want to be part of the growth of the firm, but they don't want to like run their own P&L and hire people and deal with payroll. And they're also not looking to call shots on the portfolio or on the fintech. They want to work with clients and just be incredible advisors. So we have 24 CFPs. If you're a financial planner at Ritholtz Wealth Management, morning, noon, and night, all you do is take amazing care of your clients.
1,000%.
That's it. So again, this industry is incredible. There are a million different lanes. You can do anything. You could start your own firm. You could join a platform. You could be completely solo. You could surround yourself with coworkers. You could be an entrepreneur. You could be an advisor who's just really great at working in a bigger system. Whatever you want. That's what I love about this industry. We celebrate it at Future Proof every year. So to answer your question in a really long way, our advisors want to be part of what we're doing, and that's who we're talking to as potential team members. And it's not, it's not a situation where I need people who are looking for something else to come into my system. I'd rather just be their ally or be their friend or learn from them. I don't need to, recruit every single advisor in sight. It's not what we're trying to do.
Man, I respect that because most firms are not like that. They're the spaghetti against the wall. Let's make it fit somehow.
Yeah.
And then 6 months later, you guys end up fighting because your views are different. And now you're just parting ways. And now you're no longer friends, right? Versus,
we never had an advisor leave the
there
firm.
You go. Awesome.
Not even once. And that's really a credit to my team. We do this vetting process that's like, it's over the top.
Yeah.
You fly people into New York. Like, we're not hiring people over Zoom.
Yeah.
We had to during the pandemic, but if you want to join the firm, you're going to talk to like 15 people that work here, and we're going to send you for coffee with somebody. We're going to fly you to New York. We'll put you in a hotel room, and then we might say no. And that sucks because you feel like you just spent thousands of dollars on almost hiring someone. No one's willing to do that in our space. We have to do that because the advisors that work here now, if they see us just letting anyone in, then that feeling that they're in a special place doing something prestigious is gone.
Yeah.
It's out the window. So we make sure our advisors like the person, not just us. That's crazy shit. No one's doing one's doing that, but we're doing it.
Yeah, you got to. I mean, because I got to work with this person, right? I got to sit next to this person, so I better like them, right? Two more notes here. I want another one. The RIA industry. Let's go back there a little bit. Now I know I'm not a small IRA, like you said. I'm a big dog. I love the competition. I love the concept there. Will the smaller RIAs that are just maybe starting out, like we mentioned before, due to higher cost to do business or what have you, you think at some point there's going to be a forced consolidation in the industry, or is it always going to be, no, there's a couple of solopreneurs that can do their thing? Because I talked to a lady a couple of days ago. She was thinking about joining me to ultimately have a succession plan moving forward. Do you think that's going to be the norm, or do you think it's going to be a forced consolidation moving forward?
I don't like the term forced, but there are pressures in our industry, just like all other industries, that are going to put people in a position where they do have to make a decision, right? But I guess my question would be well, how is that different from any other industry? I know doctors who are now university professors because they didn't want to merge their practice with a larger group. But then I know doctors who, I'm on Long Island, so I know all the doctors in Great Neck. So, but I know guys who said, you know what? I got a gig as the private physician for an extremely wealthy family on the West Coast, and I'm folding up my practice, and I'm just going to I'm going to be a doctor, but in another format, because running my own practice as a orthopedist or as a primary care physician or as a gastroenterologist, that's just not feasible anymore on a solo. But you can't do that. Well, my kids go to groups of pediatricians. When I was a kid, I had Dr. Miller. Dr. Miller had a basket of lollipops. He had a bulletin board where people put baby photos up, and he saw 9 patients a day. His calendar was probably a half hour for Josh, half hour for the next baby, and then the next baby. That's not the world we're in anymore. So I don't think that the phenomenon in the advisory space is materially different from accountants who are being rolled up, dentists, doctors, attorneys. Every industry ultimately gravitates toward professionalized, institutionalized, larger companies. That doesn't mean it has to suck.
Yeah.
And this is, if I'm in your position right now, this is my pitch. Autonomy is overrated if you're not doing a great job for your clients.
Interesting.
It's overrated. Like, what, you want to make 100% of the decisions? What is the likelihood that you're going to be a kick-ass financial planner and you're going to be great at picking software solutions and you're going to be awesome at compliance and you're going to learn cybersecurity? It's like, it's ridiculous when you think about it. So I think there are a lot of advisors who are accidental entrepreneurs because they worked at firms they hated and they broke away and they didn't grow up saying, I can't wait to own my own company. It's just what happened.
Yeah.
They are going to be forced at some point to make a decision, but they're not going to be forced to choose which way. They'll have the choice. So I don't love forced, but I don't really think that it's in the client's best interest to have an advisor who's like, this is a lifestyle thing for me and I work 3 hours a day. It's like, well, all right. I mean, is the client really getting the best possible experience? Like, I'm sure it's like nice and laid back, but there are clients who need more and want more. Okay, so that's one. Two, like, no offense, but if you're a solo practitioner and your client meets us, like,
it's not close.
Tax,
I got you.
The expertise, insurance expertise, like, sorry, there's just no way between the technology, the expertise, the bench, the amount of people that we're putting in front of your client for different aspects of their life. You're not going to keep your client. It's just the reality. So rather than be on the receiving end of that situation, I think advisors need to decide, like, I'm going to step my game up and I'm going to build this over 25 years, or I'm going to join up with a group that is like as gully as they need to be. Yeah. And I'm going to get the benefit of that. So it's not a forced situation, but it's a decision for sure.
Well, I'm not taking offense to that because I'm on the other side of the fence by saying I enjoy that. I enjoy the fact that there's competition out there because I truly feel, and my clients truly feel, that Kevin, they know my work ethic. They know what I do. They know what I,
stop.
You know what I mean?
You played professional baseball. Nobody's worried about you competing. In 3 years, you're going to be taking my clients. But here's what I want to say about that, though.
Let's work together on that. The pool is large, man.
Well, so this is what I want to say, though. I don't actually think that any firm in our industry, there are 18,000 RIAs. I don't truly believe that any of them are head-to-head competitors.
Nor do I.
This is not right. In my town, in Merrick, there are 5 pizzerias that people go to. They all are head-to-head because there's only so many people in the town eating so many meals, and they know every day it's a competition. They all do fine because it's Long Island. So we do. We eat pizza, breakfast, lunch, dinner. But that's Rick Edelman explained this to me. Rick Edelman is probably one of the top 5 entrepreneurs in the advisory space of all time.
Yeah.
And he sat down and explained that, imagine 2 solar systems, 2 galaxies, he said, colliding. Did you know that mathematically the probability is almost 0 that any planets or stars would collide with each other?
Yeah, it's just so wide, yeah.
The vastness of, so I think there's $38 trillion in household wealth.
Yeah.
The biggest firm in our industry is like $200 billion.
Yeah.
Nobody has scale. None of us are head-to-head competing. We might take a client from each other incidentally, but we don't compete like, hey, the guys down the street don't know what they're doing. That's just not, that's not how this industry is, which I also love, which is why we're also collaborative with each other.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. Hey, and I appreciate that as well, because you're absolutely right. This is not a competition. Like, one of my mentors, her name's Helen Stevens, I always bring her up. She has an RIA here in Fort Worth. She's been doing it for 10 years. She's now at 300 million. And she took time out of her day to literally say, Kevin, these are the steps. Let me walk you through them. And I was like, this is great, because we're not in competition. We're just trying to help each other grow and be successful together. So Hey, I saw something a couple of weeks ago, and there's a couple more questions here. And somebody posted something on LinkedIn about, you're saying something about young advisors, right? Like young advisors need to understand this, that, and the other. My question to you is, with AI right now, what do you think the impact, because I could do a lot more with AI and versus hiring a person to do all that stuff for me now. What do you think the impact's going to be on young advisors in regards to the AI space?
That's a really good question. I don't really have a fully formed opinion on that, but I think the person quoting me, what they were quoting me as saying is that we do have a little bit of an issue in this industry right now with young people thinking that they're supposed to graduate college and start a financial advisory firm the next day.
Yeah.
And I'm sure there's one or two that will, right? Like, but realistically, the odds of having a wealthy family have a 23-year-old managing $5 million for them are zero.
Yeah.
Like, who would do that? And what would be the benefit? What would be the reason? Energy? Enthusiasm? Like, what would you be? So there has to be mentorship. Every generation. It's not about millennial, Gen Z. There has to be mentorship. It's our responsibility. If we want this industry to thrive, then we all have to do our part and find ways to bring the next generation in. And I really care about that. And, we make future-proof the event affordable so that advisors can come and pay nothing and just get a foot in the door to start learning. So I'm passionate about that. But what I'm equally passionate about is that there are people selling this narrative in our space, these communities and these groups, like, nah, you don't need to listen to anybody. Just start advising clients. It's like, are you fucking crazy? These kids are going to starve.
Starve quickly.
They're going to starve.
Yeah.
They need. How are they going to attract enough assets that are going to pay them? And yeah, I understand there's new ways of billing. It doesn't have to be AUM. You don't have to only work with wealthy people. You don't have to only work with old people. You can work with young generation. I'm cool with all that. But can we learn what we're talking about? Because I have to tell you, my first 10 years in this business, I didn't know anything. Anything. So I'll spot you 5 years. Let's say at 27, 28, you should be on the road to being a really skilled advisor. By then, you have your CFP. You've had a couple hundred conversations with wealthy people. You've had some rejection. You've had some life experience. Okay, I'll accept that. What are you doing, though, from 25 to 27? What's that 5 years look like? I think you need to be learning and apprenticing. So I don't think AI is really going to disintermediate that. I think we're really heavily reliant as an industry on Schwab and Fidelity giving people a shot to answer phones and learn the ropes. Those firms are really important. I know there's still training programs at Morgan Stanley and Merrill. Those are a little bit more Hunger Games. It's really, really tough to get all the way through. The insurance companies provide a very valuable training ground. You might not want to grow up to be an insurance salesperson, but like they teach you how to get meetings, how to sell. Like, so we try to train. I can't afford to bring in 10 young people a year, but we have trained some incredible young advisors. We do as much of it as we can. I hope you do too. And I hope all the advisors listening to this understand that they're part of this ecosystem. And if we want to see our industry thrive, we have to fill it with young people who want to become the next generation. And we have to help them. You can't be eat what you kill or I'll fire you in a year. Like, if you're hiring somebody who's 23, you have to give them time and support. So,
well, because the industry's been that way for so long, right? I mean, if you look at the numbers, I know the insurance business, they say 70% of the people fell out in the first 3 years. And I'm not sure what the financial advisor space is, probably 9 out of 10, right? I don't want to just throw numbers out there, but I know the numbers are high from the failure rate perspective.
I would say though, it might be a good thing.
Yeah.
Because if you're not going to make it, isn't it better to find out after a year or two that there's just some reason why you're not getting to the next level and other people are. Yeah. And if you can't pick it up by watching them, or if it's like completely in opposition to your natural disposition and your personality, like maybe you should be pursuing something else. We all have our hopes and dreams, kind of pushed around. Most people don't end up doing what they thought they would end up doing. Some people do, but it's like not the worst thing that the knockout is early. And if you really have it within you, then get back on the horse and try again. And if you don't, hey, you just figured out not to waste your time. So,
well, we have Josh Brown from Ritholtz Management. Hey, listen, this is my last question, man, because I want to know a little bit more about you, and because this is a fun conversation. Did you want to become a financial advisor / CEO of a financial planning office? Was that always in the cards for you, or was it like,
no,
I want to be a PGA golfer?
No, I wanted to draw. I wanted to be an illustrator or an animator for Disney, actually.
Okay.
So, but I'm not that good.
Really,
so
not that.
I was an art. I was like an art. I was interested in almost everything other than finance. Like I was not like one of these business school kids.
Mm-hmm.
I'm definitely right-brained. I'm into music. I'm into art. I'm into things that wouldn't, like, you don't see a lot of people you see people that have these as hobbies in our industry, but I thought that I was going to do that. And then I ended up doing this almost by accident, but I fell in love with the markets. And so I don't regret. I try to incorporate the things that I'm really into what we do. So you see us designing t-shirts, and you see us, throwing live events, and you see us interviewing rappers, and like I'm doing what I want, man. I don't complain, but I found a way to make this industry more fun and make and incorporate a lot of things that I'm passionate about into the daily life of an advisor. So,
man, I appreciate you, man, because you, CEO, Ritholtz Wealth Management, doing your thing, got the Wu-Tang. Is that the Wu-Tang shirt on right there? I like that too, man.
Come on, man.
Wu-wear, I love it. And you're bringing a different style, different flavor to it. And again, I love your passion on TV also, man. Just keep plugging that. And we love having you today. We love your insight. Final thing is, what would you tell young advisors entering the business? I know you've already discussed it a little bit, but if you're day one, year one, fresh out of school, what would you tell young advisors to get them on the right path?
You have to meet people. You have got to network. It's like I would almost go as far as to say it's like worth going into debt to travel and go to things that you can get yourself invited to, and just get in front of people and make an impact when you do. You have got to network. And I don't mean like, just stalk somebody who's like already been really successful. Network with your peers. You have to have a support group, an informal support group of people that are trying to do what you're trying to do from all over the country. So an advisor in their 4th or 5th year in the business should have a peer group online, people that they met at events that are all trying to do that, just share information. It could be informal, a big group text. It doesn't have to be like a study group, but just you got to talk and you got to get feedback and you have to run things by people. And if you can get a couple of mentors in your life, the way that Kevin has and the way that I have, it's a cheat code, man, because you might end up not doing things the way that the person that's mentoring you did them because times change or circumstances change, or there are people who have made it in this business through a stroke of luck that is not going to be repeated for you. But you should still understand those stories, and you should look at that as motivation regardless. So the number one thing, you will not find it in a book. You will not find it in one of my blog posts or one of Kevin's shows. You have got to be out in the world talking and listening.
Talking and listening and enjoying times like this. Josh, man, thank you so much for your time. I hope you enjoy your time off today. And again, I appreciate having you on the podcast.
I appreciate you too, Kevin. Keep doing what you're doing. I'm listening.
Appreciate you. We had Josh Brown, CEO of Ritholtz Wealth Management, talking about RIA consolidation, talking about what young advisors can be doing to get them through those tough years, those years 1 to 3 years in general when things are get really, really tough. Josh has some insight for you right there. Josh is a wonderful individual. We appreciate his time. As I always say, subscribe to this channel. As I always say, go and get my book, MLB to CFP. Have any questions? info@9icapitalgroup.com. If you want to go to the website and schedule an appointment, go to www.9icapitalgroup.com. As you know, we're here to do what? Educate, empower, and engage. And again, thank you guys for listening. Continue to subscribe. Stay humble, stay safe, and we'll see you again soon.